Decided for show Grand Central on a Sunday before Christmas, early December. Always tons of people here. There's all the places you can go on the New Haven line that goes to Connecticut and through the Bronx and Lower Westchester. And then here are all the trains going on the Harlem line and the Hudson line. So the Harlem line goes straight up through the middle of Westchester up to Dutchess County. So it goes to places like Southeast, which is in either Putnam or Dutchess County. And from there you can change to other trains going further north. And then the Hudson line goes as far north as Poughkeepsie. So you can see some familiar names to stations there like Yankee Stadium and Tarrytown. And I showed this in another video. Now you can go down to the Long Island Railroad down below. It's like a whole huge complex. I'll show you where the trains are here at the top level of Grand Central. So here's the top level of Grand Central. So there's one train sitting here on track 29. And the trains on Metro North are roughly color-coded. The red ones go to Connecticut, and the blue ones go to New York State. And so this is like an inner east-west passageway at the head of the tracks. So there's no trains here right now. Grand Central used to have intercity train travel, where you could take the train all the way to places like Chicago. But now it's just commuter, and the farthest it goes from here is to New Haven, Connecticut, and Poughkeepsie, New York. And if you wanted to catch a Metro North train that goes west of the Hudson, you have to go to Hoboken, across the Hudson River, where you could then get on a train and go all the way to Port Jervis on the Port Jervis line. So these are mostly Connecticut trains. They're all red. One goes to Stamford, and this one must have just come in. It doesn't say where it's going back out to. So Stamford is the biggest Metro North station outside of Grand Central. Most ridership. And then in New York State, White Plains is the biggest station outside of Grand Central. So it seems pretty quiet in here. And then we'll go back into the main train hall, where it is totally frenetic. And we're going to see more people rushing to catch their trains. So this is the iconic clock that people will say they're going to meet other people by in Grand Central. When they say, "Meet me by the clock," that's what they mean. There's constellations on the ceiling. Looks like there's a bar on the left side of the grand staircase over there, and there used to be another one on the right. These places go in and out of business. This has been a restaurant up here, and now I think it's just a general hangout area. Let's go downstairs and I'll show you the lower level.
That's true. I should have worn a brighter hat because I found.
So there's tons of restaurants down here. More places to hang out and eat than at an airport. A million different choices. Including places to get a drink. So there's so much activity down here, you might also tell someone to meet you down here. And it's just gotten more and more popular. When it first opened, it was doing okay, but they were kind of worried that it wasn't going to really take off, but now it seems like it's really taken off. I'm not saying every restaurant is in business, but they got a lot of restaurants. We'll walk around and take a look at a few more. Lots of pastries. A few empty restaurants down here.
You guys are not going to believe you're not going to believe how much
Bryant Bowls is a chain. Now Veselka actually is a restaurant my daughter and I earlier today we wanted to go to on 2nd or 3rd Avenue below Union Square, and there's a line up the street from the entrance, but they serve Ukrainian soul food, so now I know you can get it here right in Grand Central. Very popular restaurant, and you can get stuff and then bring it over to the tables to eat. Just tons of choices here, and ice cream too. So here you got a sign with all the stations in one place: New Haven Line, Harlem Line, and Hudson Line. If you want to get out of the city, you got a million options here. This doesn't even include Long Island. That's a separate station down below this level. There's 2 more levels below this level. So if you wanted to see the Long Island part of the station, which is much, much newer, but built in the same style, you can watch that video. It's just amazing, the complex that was built underneath this station. All right, we're gonna go back up to the ground level. They have restrooms here too with long lines. They try to keep them clean. Back on the main level, and this is the Transit Museum store, where look at the line of people to get in. They have a lot of model railroads in there for the kids to look at, but real popular store to buy all kinds of transit related stuff. And I think more and more people are into transit, so they would be into a store like that. I'm sure they sell online too. So there's corridors that go off this way and going further north. It's like a little network that's connected to the station underground. Zarro's has been there forever. Or one time when I worked here, I went into Zarro's and the person right after me was a guy who was running for the U.S. Senate at the time. Rick Lazio from Long Island. He lost to Hillary Clinton. He was a senator before she ran for president, and a first lady before she was senator. All right, so we're going to go up this ramp up to 42nd Street. And I feel like a salmon. We're swimming against the tide. It's a really cool restaurant here, by the way. It used to be called the Campbell Apartment, and see, it's going by the name of Grand Brasserie. But I think it's the same location. Anyway, it's very quiet and sedate. Cool place to go. All right, let's get back up the ramp. This is a street. You even have a wedding couple coming down here. I'm telling you. Got everything here. Okay, and then right outside of this exit is One Vanderbilt. New skyscraper built right by Grand Central. I'm just going to walk over by it in order to turn around and look back at Grand Central up Vanderbilt Avenue. So they've closed this part off to traffic. And there's Grand Central on the outside. And that famous marquee at the southwest corner on 42nd Street. And more of the surrounding neighborhood right around. Hot real estate. And now we'll walk west on 42nd Street, where the sun is setting to the west. All right. I'll show you a few more highlights on the way back to. I'm going to the Port Authority bus terminal to catch a bus back to New Jersey. You know, after being to different downtowns in the western U.S., I'm thinking of LA and Albuquerque, where there's like no people. It's actually refreshing to come to a American city that actually has people in it. Some people would say too many people, but I'd rather have too many than hardly any. It's eerie in these other downtowns. It's not eerie in New York. Not too often.
It's a really funny picture, though. I didn't sign him.
So there must have been a Rangers hockey game because there's a lot of fans with Rangers jerseys walking back to Grand Central to catch their train, either going north or going east to Long Island. New York has nice bus stops. And so now there's more standard fare McDonald's and stuff. This is walking towards Times Square, but we're not in Times Square yet. We're still in the heart of Midtown. And I'll show you a prominent building when we get up here to the corner. All right, we're gonna cross Fifth Avenue. I'll show up Fifth Avenue here. Wait, if you love people, come to New York. We got a lot of them. Here's looking north up Fifth Avenue. And then that's the New York Public Library over there, their main building. When I first moved to New York, I was waiting for a new job to start. And I was staying with a friend on Long Island with he was living at home with his parents. And we were both going to work at the same place in New York City. Anyway, he was working already. I was waiting for my job to start, and I wanted to come into the city just to get out of the suburbs and I'd go to the New York Public Library and do research on what my new job was going to be about. So I spent plenty of time in there. Anybody from China, Japan, or Europe would feel very at home here with the density of people in New York. Got some fake handbags for sale here. See some Gucci's. Not real Gucci's. And then across the street, this is Bryant Park behind the library at 42nd and 6th Avenue. And they have a winter market in the winter with a lot of stores. We'll walk through there real quick. It's on my way. Across mid-block here. You don't walk across 42nd Street flippantly. You do it gingerly. All right, let's go into the winter market here. All right, so this is where people can do Christmas shopping at stores that tend to be on the high end. And there's also an ice skating rink here. There should be. There has been in past years. Just tons of people. You wouldn't believe it, but in the summer, this is a very tranquil place to be. Where a lot of times they keep people off the grass so that the grass can regrow. Otherwise, it'd be a dust bowl all the time. And if there's an ice rink, it'd be behind this row of stores over here. Let's see. It's got to be over there. I can't believe that they would not still have that. We'll see. You got helicopters flying overhead. That's what people need. Peaceful stone lights for when you're in New York and you need to restore your sanity. Yeah, there's people skating around over there because they're moving faster than all of us on the ground.
So good, you should just pick a hockey.
Alright, have to take a little skating action in here. But you know what? It's as crowded on the ice as it is walking around, so nobody can really get up a lot of steam. Unbelievable crowds. Just took me a while to get through a pack of people. That's the back of the library. And that tall building with the spire on top, that's the Madison building that I looked up when we came right out of Grand So you would think by seeing all these people that everybody in the New York area is here in the city, and that would not be true. You go out of New York City and it's like this for a while. Gradually thins out as you get further out of the city.
I don't think I'm going to get anything because I just
The city would not work without mass transit. The one thing Manhattan has going for it is there's no highways that really go through Manhattan. So if you're ever in Manhattan and you want to get out of the city, it takes a little while sometimes based on the few sort of semi-highways that there are to get out, but that's a good thing. It makes for a more lively city, even though it's more aggravating. Choose your poison. You want it boring and empty and eerie? Or do you want a living, high voltage, interesting city?
Like the Winter Village, like that.
It's one or the other. All right, we're gonna cross 6th Avenue here. I'm actually taking 41st Street, which is parallel to 42nd. A lot less crowded. Maybe a little less interesting too, but when you want to get from point A to point B, you got to know the back roads. And as you can see, there's still a lot of people on this street. So a mixture of old and new. When we get up to Times Square, I'll show you some of Times Square. First, I'll show you this little parklet in between the buildings. All right, now we're coming up on Times Square. The southern end of it. It really doesn't go much further south here than 41st Street. So it's pretty much between like 41st and 59th, 57th. City bike here.
Yeah.
All right. It's sort of like screened off a little bit there. I think it's due to some sort of construction work. But that's the main part of Times Square going north up there. You get a flavor. Alright, since we didn't see a whole lot of Times Square there, let me walk up north to 42nd Street. So they have bike lanes here, which I know from experience can be murder. Trying to ride your bike through Times Square, a few other super ultra pedestrian places. If you're trying to make time, avoid Times Square because you're going to get held up. Cross here. Look for any of your friends who might be visiting the city here. I hope that music isn't copyrighted. Center of the universe, 42nd and 7th. If you want to catch a subway, you just catch the AQR 137 CEW2 or S. Person with very large ears in front of me. This area was super sketch in the 80s until Disney came and led the way of cleaning up Times Square and then Manhattan and the whole city. A lot of it is thanks to Disney. Took a chance on Times Square and opened up a theater here. By the way, one of the reasons the city's got a lot of people walking around today is the weather is just a little bit warmer than it's been lately. Lately, it's only got a high end of the 40s, but today I think it got into the low 50s. A wax museum. Alright, I'm at the end of my walk through Midtown Manhattan. Just wanted to show you a little slice of NYC on the nicest day we've had in a week or two. Thanks for joining me, and hope to see you in an upcoming video. See you later.